Hello everyone, welcome back to the last Unity tutorial that I'll be uploading onto Canvas for the semester. This will be the last section of the plane simulator. This week as well, I'll also be revealing the Game Jam 2 theme. After that you will work on the final project until the end of the semester. So, without further ado, we should take a look at the notepad for today. What we're actually going to do is not that. We're going to create a timer. We're going to basically edit with the pickups do. We're going to increase time to the timer whenever we hit the pickups. Replace it whenever we pick one up. And then create basically a losing condition. Okay, so let's give it a try. I went ahead and turned down the volume. No, I didn't, apparently. Audio source, volume. Oh, it reverted. I'm going to turn it all the way down to there. There we go. So if you remember from the last tutorial, we have this game where we collect pickups, but they don't exactly do anything yet. So I figured instead of doing what I usually do, which is make it so these pickups give you ammo and you can fight other airplanes, instead what we could do is make it a race against the clock. So that way you have a timer, and like I said earlier, whenever you hit the pickups, it'll add to that timer. And yeah, it's basically see how long you can survive. Okay, so let's get coding. The first thing we have to do is actually create the timer. And so to do that, I'm actually going to create a new empty object here, call it timer, and actually reset that, give it a component, and I'm going to make a new component called scr timer. I'll open that up. And we need to actually create this script. We need to first do a whole bunch of references. So we need the time left, which is going to be a float. And this will be in seconds. We need a bool to decide whether or not this, whether or not the timer is running or not. Timer on, and it'll be off to start with, I guess. Public, we want to reference the text object that will be holding our timer. And to do that, remember we need using Unity engine dot, oh no, sorry, it's not Unity engine, this is TextMesh Pro we're going to be working with. So using TextMesh Pro, we're going to reference a text mesh pro UGUI. I'll just call that timer text. And then we also need to reference the controller to actually know when to increase the timer. I'll just call it controller. Okay. Now when we start, we want to actually turn the timer on. That's right. So timer on equals true. In update. And this will all make sense once we have the full code too, but we can try to follow along. So if the timer is on, so this is only while the timer is running. Also, if the time left is greater than 0, so assuming there is still time left on the clock, we want to decrease that time left, decrement, decrease equals by time.delta time. And remember, this changes every frame. And then we also want to run a function that we haven't made yet called update timer with our next time left. Okay, but we haven't made that function yet. And then if the timer does not have any time left, we can go ahead and run a debug log here saying, I don't know, like time is up. Okay, and we want to actually set time left equal to 0, so that way we're not going in the negative. Timer on, we can go ahead and turn that off. And we have the controller here. We want to actually go ahead and run the lose function. Because when the timer's over, we said we wanted to lose, correct? that should run this function, so we're all good there. Yeah, it would reset the scene. And in a minute, we'll also create an actual lose screen. We won't just reset the screen, but we'll get to that. And now we need to go ahead and actually create that function. I'll call it void update timer. Oh, and that takes a float called current time. Let's give that an underscore too to indicate that it's a parameter. And I will increase that by 1. I will then just create the minutes and the seconds by doing the minutes. This will be math f dot floor to int. And if we go ahead and read that, returns the largest integer smaller or equal to f. So in this function, we're going to pass in our time, and we're going to divide it by 60 because we're talking about minutes, and then it'll give us just a nice round integer, so we don't have a bunch of like half seconds and whatnot. So we want current time divided by 60. Okay, and that should give us minutes. And to do seconds, it's very similar. We want math f dot floor to int, except now we want the current time mod 60, remainder 60. Okay, and now we need to actually set the timer text. I almost forgot that. Dot text, right? Never forget that. And set that equal to this new function. I don't think we've used that. The format function in the string class. We can actually decide what sort of format we want in the script and not in the inspector, and then pass it through here. So the format, you can see it takes a lot of overloads. The format, the string, and the arguments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do string. I'm going to do curly braces 0 colon 0 0. This will be like the minutes. Okay, and then I want the seconds here. I will do curly braces again 1 like that. Okay, and then we'll just pass in minutes and seconds. And we should be good to go there. That should update our timer text. I need to remember to create that text object. And then there we go. I created the timer. Yeah, let's go ahead and try that once it updates. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out. Do we not have a canvas yet? We do not. Let's create that. Go to UI, canvas, okay, UI. I'm gonna add some text mesh pro, and I'll just call this timer text. And before I forget, I'll throw that into our timer object here. Okay, and I need to snap my controller in there. Now let's actually move this timer text. I'll give it some octothorpes here to start with, so that way we make it a bigger size. Where is it? Let's move it all the way up here. Oh, guys, import. I didn't see that there. We need to import TMP, Text Mesh Pro. That should be good. Oh, and there it is. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna make this box a little bigger. I worry it's not gonna fit. And actually, I'm gonna anchor this to the top left here, so that way our timer is not. There we go. That should look good. Okay, and now this should be replaced as soon as we start. No, because I didn't set a time left, right? That's in timer. Time left, let's say 10 seconds. Perfect. Now we have 10 and it's counting down. Let's see what happens when it runs out. See, it restarts the game there. Perfect. And collecting the orbs doesn't do anything because we haven't made it do that yet. But we can. Was there something in between? Add time with the balls. That's what we're up to now. Okay. So in controller, when we on trigger enter, we now want to reference the timer. So we need a reference here. Public script timer. I'll call it timer. Oops. And I will go down here on trigger enter. I want to do timer dot time left, and then I'll say each orb adds like 5 seconds. How about that? We just add to the time left, and that should be good. Let's try that again. Oops, if I can get one. Object reference, right. We did not go to airplane, drag and drop the timer in there. Okay, let's try this again. 14, 10, 16, perfect. Okay, now we are still restarting the scene whenever we die. Adjust the number, yeah, so I figure this is way too many to actually make the game somewhat difficult. So maybe if you're not as good with the controls yet, it might be a little difficult. But I'm gonna go ahead and decrease the number of pickups to let's say 75 for now. See what that looks like. Now they're a lot more few and far between, which means instead of going for the far ones, you might actually have to make some risky maneuver near the land. I think that's pretty good. Still might be a bit much, but I don't know. And now eventually we will actually, once I run into all 75, we will actually run out of these pickups. So to counteract that, I think what we could do, oh that was nice, is make it so that way whenever we pick up, we actually spawn another pickup. So I'm going to do that. Spawn pickups, and we already made the function here. So instead of spawning 50 at the start, like we do right here, we instead, when we trigger a pickup, we just spawn another one, and this goes ahead and puts it in a random position. Okay, yeah, that works. That's as simple as that. And now, yeah, I guess we can make the lose function. Let's run this again. See what happens when we lose. So when we, it would actually be pretty cool to see it. Maybe if I, yeah, I guess if I pick up one on the very outside, we might be able to see it. I'm not good enough. If we picked up one on the outside looking inwards, I might be able to see it being placed. Unless I get lucky. I don't know. Okay, oh yes, I wanted to see what happens when we die. So, crash, everything's normal. Now if I run out of time, and I could decrease that to 5 seconds maybe. So timer hits 0, and then it waits 2 seconds, right? And we don't like that, really. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change it so that way when I lose, all of this stuff happens. So on collision enter, I just want to call lose. I'm going to take all this, just call lose, and instead in this function here, I'm going to plop all this down. We don't need that anymore. Detach the camera. Do not call lose again. That would be bad. And we can disable the timer. Right. Well, let's see what happens when we don't disable the timer. Oh wait, so in our timer actually, is there going to be a problem when we call lose? lose? I don't think so, right? Timer, controller lose. Yep, so this shouldn't be a problem. Let's run that. Okay, we crash and die. Now if I just run out of time, let's wait 10 seconds. And not crash. Okay, we crash and die immediately. I like that. Does the timer continue? I forgot. You know what I'm going to do? I'm pretty sure there is still a bug, but because I have it set at 10 seconds, it's hard to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the timer to 5 seconds. Let's see what happens when I let it go for a second. I crash. That was hard to see. I know there's a bug here. So we do actually need to turn off the timer, and that was controller right before here. Timer dot timer on equals false, because what it's going to end up doing, I can die via crashing, and I can die via time running out, and it's going to sort of reset the scene twice. And I was having some trouble making it actually happen, but I know that this is a bug that can happen, so simple fix, when we lose, we turn the timer off. Okay? And now, we need to actually create the lose screen, which is not that hard. So, just one more check, make sure it works. We can crash, timer turns off, perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and create that screen. So I already have a canvas image. I'm gonna, well, yeah, this is the right side, okay. In Canvas, this is gonna be, I'm not gonna create a new scene because we did that in a previous tutorial. I'm gonna create a image. I'm gonna show you a different way to do it. Click on this part. I'm going to expand by clicking Alt and stretch it to the edge of the screen. Okay, I'm gonna change it to a different color, like maybe, what's a lose color? Maybe this color, this shade of purple. And I'm going to call this lose screen. And let's throw some text on there too. Why not? You lose text. I'll say you lose. Sorry. I'll increase that a bit. No, that's pretty good, I think. And then center it, move it up, make it a little bigger. Okay, and see, that looks pretty good. And now I want to add a button. Right click, UI, button, Text Mesh Pro button. Restart button, and I'll edit the text on this button here. I'll say play again, and this is how we'll restart the scene. So I'll move this, move the whole button down, make it a little bigger if I can. Like that. Increase the size of this text, make it look good. Okay, let's edit this text a little bit. Because we have Text Mesh Pro, we can actually give it an outline, which is pretty cool. I like that. Let's change the color. What goes good with purple? This color? I like red. There we go. Let's see, black or white outline? Black outline's pretty good. You lose, sorry. Play again. Okay, so now let's actually make this button do something. So, what I'm going to do is make a new function here called, and it's going to be a public function because we need to access it by the button. I'll make it in the controller. I'll call it public void. I'll just call it reload scene. It's simple. All this is going to do scene manager dot load scene. Well, we already have that. It's going to just do this. Okay, now when our timer runs out, or sorry, more accurately, when we lose, instead of we lose, we call this wait function, right? And then it waits 2 seconds, and instead of doing this, what I can do is actually just pull up that load screen and then call that function from the button whenever we press that button. So I need a reference. I'll just call it public game object works lose screen. Okay, I'll go after we wait lose screen dot set active true, and we'll disable it by default. Okay, and that should be good for the code. Now, see if I forget any steps. So, I'll do this first. So, in the button, over down here on click, we need to pick the object that has the function on it, which is the airplane. In the controller, we want the reload scene button, and that is perfect. And now all I need to do is turn off the lose screen to start with, play the game, play really well. I can see my timer increasing. Oh, and the outline actually affected this text mesh pro object as well. Okay. I'm playing really well. I can die by running out of time or by dying a horrible death. The variable lose screen has not been assigned. Right. Airplane. Lose screen. Of course, I forgot. Pretend all that just happened again. I die. You lose. Sorry. Play again? Yes. And now we can play again. Perfect. So that is it for this tutorial. That's it for the plane simulator, and that is it for the rest of the tutorials for the rest of the semester. I wish you guys good luck on your Game Jam 2 if you choose to participate. Good luck with your final projects. Good luck with your finals and all your other classes, and if you need any help with anything, please feel free to reach out. And yeah, so I'll see you next time.